Tonight on CTV News, the first FIFA football under-20 side lands in Christchurch. A young man plans to take his mum around the world for an experience she won't forget. And the Crusaders charge on despite the odds.
Broadcasting across Canterbury from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Kia ora, good evening. A Transalpine train was stopped in its tracks this morning after it collided with a car near Springfield just after 9 a.m. No one was injured in the crash, but all 59 passengers and train staff were transferred for the duration of their journey to Greymouth. Police are continuing to investigate the accident. The crash occurred at the Keene Road intersection, which is controlled by stop signs. It's the second largest sporting event to hit Christchurch since the earthquakes. And today, the first FIFA under-20 team flew into town. Chelsea Daniels went down to talk to the German side.
Germany's under-20 team arrived in Christchurch today as the country gears up for the FIFA Under-20s World Cup. The tournament kicks off on Saturday and runs for 3 weeks. 24 teams from around the globe will compete in 7 cities around New Zealand, including Christchurch. Germany last won the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in 1981, and it seems the boys are confident about their squad's chances in this year's tournament.
We are the European champions, so many people, I think they will expect something from us, so we want to show what we have.
The competition acts as a showcase of new and upcoming players, following the footsteps of such football greats as Messi, Maradona and Ronaldinho, who have all previously impressed crowds at the tournament. Christchurch councillor Janni Johansson said he's excited about continuing the city's proud tradition of hosting sporting events.
Yeah, I think we're really fortunate as a city to have the German team in Christchurch, but we've got a number of really good teams as part of our pool, so it's great. This is, the start of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, and we're really lucky as a city to be able to host such an amazing event with such amazing teams.
The playing fields at Ferrymead, Garrick, Avonhead and Linfield Park have all been upgraded to deliver world-class training facilities for the participating teams and will become one of the lasting legacies from the event.
The training fields that we've invested in as a city in partnership with the local football clubs, with FIFA and with mainland football, those are going to be legacy fields that are well used long after this tournament ends.
A local Kapahaka group welcomed the young players this morning, and team captain Kevin Akpouma was impressed with the traditional Maori dance.
The welcome was nice. I saw it that time in a YouTube channel with the rugby players. I think it was similar like that, so it was nice.
So, what's first on the boys' agenda now that they're in Christchurch?
First of all, we want to sleep. I think want to relax because we are 24 hours now flying, and then we'll train a bit, and then maybe after the first or the second match we're going out, watching here what's going on here.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
The second day of a second trial continued at the Christchurch District Court today. The jury trial centres on allegations of carer abuse against children and the elderly.
A trial involving a caregiver who allegedly abused 2 boys and an elderly man saw its second day in the Christchurch District Court today. The trial was aborted on Monday for undisclosed reasons, but a new 2-week trial began again yesterday. The 60-year-old woman denies all 29 assault charges, including a charge of poisoning one of the boys, making him eat a chili pepper as a punishment. Today, the defence challenged evidence that the boy was burned with a hot poker and spoon, repeatedly alleging that he had made it all up. The boy, who is now 17 years old, claimed to have told a teacher about being beaten and getting a black eye. But the court was assured that the teacher would give evidence to suggest that the event never took place and that he never saw him with a black eye. The trial is continuing.
It's back again for the first time since the earthquakes. After being a leader in recycling practices, students returned this week to learn from the city's Living Earth program. Chelsea Daniels explains.
With post-earthquake repairs at the plant completed, the next generation of organics experts visited Living Earth this week. For the first time since the 2011 earthquakes, Living Earth is able to engage with students through its schools program.
Well, look, it's great to get it back. After the earthquakes, we had to rebuild a lot of our tunnels, so the program was stopped. Prior to the earthquakes, we were doing about 50 schools a year through here. There's been a lot of interest. I'm sure we'll have that number come back through. All the staff on site love to do it. There's always a lot of participation and engagement when the children are here and setting up, and it's all about education, both for the City Council and Living Earth.
This week, the plant saw Year 4 students from Summerfield School learn all about organic matter and how the compost process works. Living Earth hopes to educate and excite young people so they can educate their families when they get home.
We can educate every child, which is another household, and it's all about ensuring that they know what can go into the composting bin, but more importantly for us as the people who have to process it, what we don't want to see in that. 46,000 tonnes of curbside waste is collected from Christchurch homes each year. The 3-month process then turns the trash into treasure. 20,000 tonnes of compost treasure, that is. That saves Christchurch ratepayers around $5 million a year by avoiding landfill. The Christchurch Compost Company is leading the way in green waste management on a worldwide scale. With world-class facilities, Living Earth boasts the most successful household green waste management program in Australasia. What the Christchurch City Council have done here is world class. Now, I actually feel quite privileged to operate a facility like this. What we're seeing here is a plant that you won't see in New Zealand or even Australia, I don't believe. We'd have to go to Europe to see something as good as this.
The kids got to get their hands dirty and experience the process more than what they would in their classrooms. So, did the kids have fun today on their compost adventure?
I think it's really good and helpful for the environment.
And what shouldn't be placed in the green bins?
Measles. Silly Dad's beer bottle. Everyone. Dad's beer bottle. And Mum's wine bottle.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Oh, very nice indeed. Well, still to come here on CTV News, how the 40-hour famine appeal has changed over the years.
With all the latest innovations in the world of technology, Shift has everything you need to stay informed and in the know. Shift, 2:15 on Monday, right here on CTV.
Opus is recreating the heart of Canterbury. From large-scale projects to commercial buildings. Your design, your vision. Opus.
In your life. Colour Steel, the roof of New Zealand.
Diversity. No deposit. Instant finance. Convenience. Open 7 days. Austin Motor Company.
Drive It showcases the new arrivals to the motoring world, comparing and testing the latest models to discover which one is the best. Drive It, Sunday afternoons at 2:30, only on CTV.
And welcome back. Well, World Vision's 40-hour famine has come a long way since its inception, just over 40 years now. Fundraisers once fast to take on world hunger, but in a competitive charity market in recent times, things have changed. Last week, a Christchurch swimming club raised more than $5,000 for the cause by swimming. No fasting involved. And with me now is Chris Davis from World Vision to explain why things have changed. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it. Let's just talk about how long it's come. It's just over 40 years. It's a bit of a milestone, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is our 41st year this year. The 40-hour famine started in Canada 1 year before it started here. So we were the second country to run it, and we've had 40 years. It's New Zealand's longest running youth activity, youth event. It's New Zealand's biggest youth fundraiser, so it's almost like a rite of passage for a lot of Kiwis.
Absolutely, and I guess this year as well, was there a lot of turnout as well again this year?
Yeah, we had, I was just checking the numbers before I came, we had 117,000 students did it this year.
Oh wow, and is that good compared to other years?
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really, really good turnout, so we were happy. Yeah, cool. Considering there's about maybe 900,000 students in New Zealand, so it's a lot of students doing it.
I can imagine so, absolutely. I want to talk about the competitiveness of this in terms of the fundraising effort as well. There's a lot of other charities out there that you guys have to compete with, I guess, sort of competition really.
Yeah.
What's it like these days out there for you guys when it comes to your position in helping to fundraise?
We don't sort of view it as competition because obviously we're all trying to make the world a better place.
Absolutely, yes.
Generally our goal is, if there's a size of the pie, we're trying to grow the pie. So we're trying to work with each other to make sure that we don't step on each other's toes, that we increase the amount of money we have to make development work happen overseas, rather than trying to steal funding from each other. We sort of, so we try not to compete if we can help it. It's more about making sure that if we've got a project coming up, it's not going to actually hurt another charity by us doing it.
And that's what I was just about to say to you too. Obviously you want to try and, obviously there's a lot of areas that need to be covered, and of course not one charity can cover all of the areas, so it's just working with the others, is it, to try and get what ones you're going to work on and all that sort of stuff, is that correct?
Yeah, well different charities have different things that they tend to focus on, so some people do, we do emergencies and international development, so we do 15-year development projects. Other people do emergency healthcare, some people do emergency medical care like Medicines Sans Frontières, or some people like St John's are fundraising for ambulances and healthcare within New Zealand, so things change. Depending on who the organisation is, depends on what they're fundraising for.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we try and stick to our segment.
Yeah, and get your side sorted. Okay, cool. I want to talk about the 40-hour famine. When it started to now, obviously a lot has changed in terms of what you guys do. And I want to talk about the processes in general as well. So obviously, most people when they think of 40-hour famine would be the barley sugars and all those type of stuff. But that's kind of evolved, hasn't it? Do you want to talk a wee bit about that?
Yeah, so the original 40-hour famine was 40 hours with no food, and actually heaps of the people who do the 40-hour famine now, that's still what they do. But yeah, a few years ago, we saw students starting to do other things. So they were doing challenges where they go 40 hours with no talking, or 40 hours with no technology, or 40 hours maybe with their ankle tied to somebody else, or all kinds of crazy things, 40 hours sleeping in a cardboard box. And so what we've done is we've started to extend it beyond just the food challenge to other challenges. And a lot of people do too. So my son this year, he did 20 hours no food and 40 hours no technology. And he found no technology way harder, way harder. He'd much rather go without food than his technology.
In the nicest way possible, does it kind of defeat the purpose of famine, of going up, to normally go away with hunger for the 40 hours, to go off to something else where, I might not use my phone for 40 hours? Or does it kind of defeat the purpose?
We do have a lot of people who don't want to go without food, and I mean, if you're diabetic or you've got low blood sugar, or there's a whole host of reasons that kids won't go without food or shouldn't go without food. But I mean, for most kids, 12 to 17 years old, it's absolutely fine. I think it's more people like to challenge themselves. So there's a challenge of going without food, and what you'll find is a lot of people will do that the first year, and then the next year they go, I want to do something else. I want to challenge myself in some other way. And do you find that's the right move to go down for within World Vision, I guess, to kind of push that, like going without technology and all these other group activities that have happened, especially this year as well? Do you think that's kind of the way it's heading? I think if we just stuck with a no food 40-hour famine, our participation rates would squeeze into only the people who want to do a no food 40-hour famine.
So extending that has actually increased the number of participants that come into it, and I suppose for you guys that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I think I love the no food famine because I think it's really important for the Kiwi kids who participate. Who, I mean, there are kids in New Zealand who do go without food and are hungry, but for most New Zealand kids, the experience of being properly hungry is not something that happens very often. So 40 hours is long enough to feel really properly hungry. I mean, I did the 40-hour famine this year and finished on Sunday at midday, and I was really hungry by midday Sunday. So it's good for kids to have that physical sensation of what it might be like to live.
And it's not just like a individual thing now too. As I was saying before, there was a swimming group here in Christchurch doing as a group. Is you seeing more of that as well?
Yeah, we see schools do a lot of big activities. So often they'll have all the kids will get into the hall and they'll have a big sleepover. Or for the older students, sometimes they'll do things where they'll challenge their teachers. And so if the students raise a certain amount of money, then the PE teacher has to shave his legs or something, or the principal, they'll make her wear a moustache for the day or something, or all kinds of challenges to the teachers. And sometimes they have challenges with each other where they'll... So the Wharanui swimming club that you were talking about earlier, 40 hours of relay swimming.
Yes.
So that, again, that's an extension beyond a personal challenge to a big group challenge.
No, that's cool. Well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Chris Davis, thank you so much from World Vision. Well, still to come here on CTV News, your region's weather.
Hi, I'm Chris Lynch. Join me every Monday at 8:30 on CTV as we discuss the issues affecting you, your family and everything to do with Canterbury. That's CTV 8:30 right here.
Computer not working? Replace or repair? DIY or get a technician? Looking for parts? Thinking of upgrading? Need accessories? You've got questions, we've got answers. Global PC.
The preparation, the devotion, the fearlessness, the intensity. Runway model management. First impressions are everything.
Made to measure interiors, made with care, made for you.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
Welcome back. It's a condition which causes serious mental decline and anguish for the loved ones affected by dementia. But a young filmmaker has an innovative plan to help his mother remember as much as she can before her condition gets worse. It's been a hard road for Adam and his family, an ever more common disease taking hold and something that changed their lives forever. Doctors diagnosed Sue with early onset Alzheimer's, aged 55.
I can't do anything. I'm just sort of stuck in this wee box.
She raised me and my brother.
Now Adam Robinson, the youngest sibling, is asking for help from the public. He started up a Give a Little page to make Sue's dream a reality, to travel the world.
I guess it was something that we decided together, had input from a few friends and family, and they decided, or, told us that we should start a page. I was looking at doing a fundraiser anyway, and I just needed a platform to do it, and Give a Little seemed to be the right one to use.
So he posted a video and set up the page, Susie's World Tour, hoping to raise $20,000 for the trip. And 1 week later, over $1,400 has already been raised, with one generous and anonymous Kiwi giving a kind donation of $1,000. Sue has always wanted to travel, but never had the time, raising 2 children as a solo mum. In August last year, they received the terrible news, and Adam says it's helped bring some closure, with doctors initially thinking she was suffering from depression.
To be honest, for me, it was almost a sigh of relief at the same time as being in shock. Just finally getting some resolution and a diagnosis was amazing for us, because we could then learn how to manage it and how to work with it. Coming to the realisation that, someone you love and care about, you're not going to be spending forever with them like you thought you were.
She has been living with the disease for almost a year now, but the news is still raw for her, something she hasn't forgotten.
I'm going to cry already. It was like a death sentence for me. Yeah. So many things I can't do that I could, for a long time I could do.
But Sue gets on with her day the best she can. She stays at home most of the time because she can't drive anywhere. She'll watch TV and do the everyday chores around the home, good as gold. She's even able to go out for a walk.
Well, I've always got to be looked after now and all that sort of thing, and it's just horrible. And all of my life I've been out there and helping everybody else. But I can't really do that now.
Not only has the family been working to take in this news, it follows a line of other losses in the family.
She lost her brother to a car accident, her sister to cancer, her other brother to an epileptic fit episode, and her mother to cancer. And out of the whole family is just mum and granddad left.
Adam is Sue's primary caregiver. He works a full-time job and his girlfriend helps out too. She also studies and works. And he says it has been difficult.
You just step into the role, you don't think twice about it. It's something that you have to do, but it definitely it takes its toll, on your social life, your personal life, your business life. Like every aspect of your life is impacted by it.
The statistics aren't looking good either. Last year, around 57,000 New Zealanders were diagnosed with dementia. By 2050, that number is expected to increase by 100,000. And in Canterbury, the estimated number is close to 6,000. The sad news is there's not a sense of hope at this stage to tackle this deadly disease.
There is currently no cure for dementia, no.
However, Daryl has some advice for people to help reduce the chance of getting dementia and even Alzheimer's.
So keeping your brain active, keeping stimulated, making your brain puff, making it work more than just doing the crossword is really important for maintaining good brain health. Good heart health, so the exercise and diet are really important. In terms of brain stimulation, pushing yourself outside your normal comfort zone. So learning a new language, learning a new dance, learning a new piece of music, doing things that really make you have to think hard.
And Sue has pushed herself outside her comfort zone. She went and saw Ed Sheeran earlier this year and got the VIP treatment and a signed CD as well. And now she's planning for an adventure of a lifetime, something she's always wanted to do.
Originally it was just Europe, but there are a lot of things in America. My partner is from America, and after talking with her, there's a lot of places that Mum would love to go, and she'd love to see the Statue of Liberty and visit Times Square in New York and see all those.
Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
They hope to travel for a month and record the whole trip.
The idea of videoing the whole thing, so if we miss a moment, we can always relive that again, and that's I think that's the key to the whole thing, is that Mum's going to have these memories because I'm going to video the entire trip, so she'll have that for the rest of her life, to always look back on and relive all those moments.
Daryl says there needs to be more awareness and continued support for people living with Alzheimer's, but Adam hopes he can do the same and see him and his mum jetting off sometime next year. Jared McCulloch, CTV News. And if you'd like to donate to the Give a Little page, just head to the website on screen now. That is givealittle.co.nz/cause/Susie's World Tour. Susie spelled SUZIES. All time now for your region's weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. Let's take a look at today's highs. Down in Timaru, you had a high of 11 today. Temuka and Geraldine, you were slightly warmer on 12 degrees. Ashburton and Methven, 11 degrees for both of you. Rakaia, a similar picture, a high of 11. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, you all shared 11 degrees. Lincoln and Christchurch, you had a high of 11 for your Wednesday. Over in Akaroa, slightly cooler with 10 degrees. Rangiora, Kaiapoi and Amberley all shared 11. Taking a look further inland, Calderwood, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, you all shared 12 degrees. Kaikoura, 10 degrees for your Wednesday. Now to tomorrow's temperatures. Timaru, mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with cool temperatures and light winds. Frosts morning and night. Tonight's low getting down to -3. Tomorrow's high, 13 degrees. Ashburton, mainly clear skies and light winds for mid-Canterbury. Watch out for heavy frosts at night. Tonight's low, a very cold -4. Tomorrow's high, 13 degrees. To the Garden City now. Blue skies and sunshine ahead for your Thursday, cool with light winds. Tonight's low, -3, make sure you wrap up warm. Tomorrow's high, 13 degrees. Kaikoura, mostly fine and sunny with light variable winds, frosts at night. Tonight's low, -2, tomorrow's high, 13 degrees. In other areas around the region, expect a cold morning with a fine day. Temuka and Geraldine, fine with a high of 13. Methven and Rakaia, you can also expect 13 degrees. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, 13 degrees for your Thursday. Looking to Lincoln now, a similar picture, a high of 13. Over in Akaroa, also fine with 13 degrees. Rangiora, Kaiapoi and Amberley, 13 degrees for your Thursday. Up north in Calderwood, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, a similar picture for you as well, with 13 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury, fine and sunny on Friday with light northeasterlies and frosts. High cloud increasing on Saturday with moderate to fresh northeasterly winds developing. Some brief light rain possible during the evening. Fine on Sunday with sunny periods, high cloud and moderate milder northerly winds. Mostly fine with high cloud on Monday and Tuesday, moderate northeasterly winds. And that's your weather update for Wednesday.
Thanks for that, Mercy. And before we go tonight, Darby the Dusty Digger, a sculpture made entirely out of cans of food, has been honoured in an international design and build competition. The structure was part of a fundraising effort for the Christchurch City Mission, which raised over 35,000 cans of food for the homeless. Darby was also submitted via photo to the International Construction Competition in Atlanta and made it into the jurors' favourite top 10. Not bad, as it was competing with structures from 124 countries, no, not countries, cities around the world. Wrong C. Hey, it's okay. And that's CTV News for Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jared McCulloch. Good evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.